It's good to have you with us at this hour. I'm Daniel Choy. Let's start with the latest on the attack on Korea's embassy in Libya on Sunday. 2 police officers were killed and another was injured during that attack. Seoul's foreign ministry said the attack was carried out by an armed group driving by the embassy compound. The men fired more than 40 machine gun rounds while driving past the embassy in a car at around 1:20 a.m. local time, killing 2 Libyan police officers and injuring another. No Korean casualties were reported. Local police arrived at the scene 10 minutes after that attack and dispatched more than 20 special agents to guard the embassy compound. Investigators have yet to determine if the attackers were aiming for the embassy or the Libyan police. A group claiming to be the Tripoli branch of the Islamic State militant group said it orchestrated the attack, but Yonhap News has a source in Libya who denied the existence of an Islamic State branch in Tripoli. Moving on to the high-profile corruption scandal that has rocked Korean politics. In a statement on Sunday, President Park Geun-hye has called on the prosecution to be thorough in its investigation into allegations that heavyweight politicians and her key aides took bribes from her former Gyeongnam Enterprises CEO Sung Wan-jong. The allegations arose when a list was found in Sung's pocket after he committed suicide on Thursday. It contains the names of those he allegedly bribed and the bribe amounts. The president's remarks come after prosecutors said they will put together a special team to probe the bribery scandal on Sunday. The 10 prosecutors on the team will launch a full-scale investigation into the allegations on Monday. Leaders and activists from around the world are gathering in Korea's southeastern cities of Daegu and Gyeongju to explore solutions to the world's water challenges. The meeting is part of a global water forum that kicked off on Sunday. Our Kim Ji-yeon has more.
Around 35,000 global leaders, business people, and activists are to participate in this year's World Water Forum in Korea. The triannual event provides a platform for discussions on issues related to water shortages around the world. At the opening ceremony, President Park Geun-hye said the forum will help promote peace by offering solutions to water-related conflicts. She also mentioned the circumstances surrounding the Korean case.
저는 70년간 지속된 긴장 관계를 남북을 잇는 물길을 통해 완화할 수 있다고 생각합니다. 남북을 관통하는 하천을 공동으로 관리하는 일부터 시작해서 남북이 서로 만나고 소통할 수 있는 통로를 만들어갈 계획입니다.
The president added that advanced and developing countries should both approach the problem as an opportunity for growth. She proposed setting up the K-Water program under which Korea would provide its water management know-how to developing nations.
또한 녹색 기후 기금, 글로벌 녹색 성장 기구 등 국제 기구와 협력해서 물 분야에 대한 지원도 확대해 가야 하겠습니다. 한국은 공적 개발 원조를 지속 확대해 가고 있는데 이 중 약 10%를 물 분야에 지원하고 있습니다.
Underlining the pressing nature of the challenges, the United Nations Environment Program says more than half of the global population will experience water shortages by 2050. Kim Ji-yeon, Arirang News.
Tourism ministers from Korea, China, and Japan met in Tokyo over the weekend for the first time in 4 years. They vowed to increase the number of travelers to the 3 countries to 30 million by 2020 from the 20 million recorded last year. They also agreed to work together to create a campaign promoting the countries ahead of the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics and the 2020 Tokyo Summer Olympics. The ministers from Korea and China also agreed to alleviate inconveniences felt by tourists ahead of next year's bilateral travel year promoting tourism to the 2 countries. And it was a historic encounter between U.S. President Barack Obama and his Cuban counterpart Raul Castro. The two talked for about an hour in what was the first sit-down between the leaders of the 2 countries in more than half a century. Our Na Young fills us in.
It took the heads of state of the U.S. and Cuba more than 50 years to sit down face-to-face. U.S. President Barack Obama described the meeting as historic and said it was time for them to try something new.
We are now in a position to move on a path towards the future and leave behind some of the circumstances of the past.
The meeting took place on Saturday on the sidelines of a gathering in Panama called the Summit of the Americas. Castro, who earlier in the day acknowledged that there would be stumbling blocks ahead, reaffirmed Cuba's commitment to normalize diplomatic ties with the U.S.
We are willing to discuss everything, but we need to be patient, very patient.
This comes after Washington and Havana surprised the world last December when they announced the two countries would seek to end half a century of diplomatic strife by normalizing relations. The big question now is whether Obama will remove Cuba from Washington's list of state sponsors of terrorism. After the meeting, the U.S. president told reporters that he would need more time to make a decision.
I'll be honest with you, I have been on the road, and I want to make sure that I have a chance to read it, study it, before we announce publicly what the policy outcome is going to be.
Citing a senior U.S. official, various media outlets report the announcement will be made in the coming days. Whether this will indeed open a new era and eventually lead to reopening embassies in Washington and Havana remains to be seen. Na Hyun-kyung, Arirang News.
Moving on to other realms, Hyundai Motor Group had a great first quarter, especially in the U.S. luxury sedan market. Its sales in that sector more than doubled from the previous year in the first quarter, a record-high quarterly share in the segment. Industry data showed Sunday that combined U.S. sales of Hyundai Motors Premium Genesis and Ecus and Kia Motors K9 increased 106% in the January to March period to 7,566 units. A dramatic climb from the roughly 3,600 units sold a year earlier. Together, the three sedans took a big bite out of the high-end automobile pie with a market share of 10.4%. Hyundai, the world's number 5 automaker, had a combined share of 7.9% in the global market. The Genesis sedan was the bestseller among the three, with the Ecus and K9 trailing behind. Just days before the country marks the first anniversary of the sinking of the Sewol ferry on Thursday, the public safety minister says the government is working as fast as it can to determine whether the vessel can be raised, but cautioned there are still a number of outstanding issues to be resolved. Minister of Public Safety and Security Park In-yong said he'll speed up the feasibility study on whether the ferry can be salvaged. He also pointed to a number of issues still in need of public debate, including the recovery cost, the potential dangers, and a need for Plan B. The victims' families have demanded the ship's recovery, and last week a government study indicated it would be technically feasible. The Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries plans to publish a report on the matter later this month. Korea's 24-member Ebola response team has completed its 3-month mission to treat patients in Sierra Leone. The Foreign Ministry said Sunday the final group of medical staff members has been released after a 21-day quarantine. A ministry official said the government plans to publish a white paper on the team's experiences so it can draw up measures for coping with overseas emergencies. Korea sent 3 groups of doctors and nurses beginning in December to join the global fight against a highly contagious disease in West Africa. According to the World Health Organization, the Ebola virus is estimated to have killed more than 10,000 people since the outbreak in December 2013. A Korean researcher says there's a chance Baekdusan Mountain, an active volcano, could erupt again soon. Professor Yoon Sung-hyo of Busan National University's Department of Earth Science Education said Sunday there are clear indications the volcano is close to an eruption and urged closer monitoring of the changes. The volcano's helium concentration rate has jumped to 7 times that of the normal atmosphere when it used to be 6.5 times between the year 2002 and 2005. He said that indicates the magma inside the mountain is moving upward. In addition, the temperature of the caldera's geyser has risen to 83 after having been at roughly 70 degrees Celsius from the year 2002 to 2005. Professor Yoon was the first Korean expert to warn of the threat of an eruption in 2010. Our universe is full of stars that are actually giant balls of gas, like the sun. For many years, scientists have debated the process by which young protostars evolve into adult stars. But now Korean researchers have helped to come up with a definitive answer. Our Won Ji-hyun reports.
This cloud of gas is about 4,000 light-years from Earth, and there's a young protostar at its core, still in the early stages of formation. A team of international scientists, including 2 members of the Korea Astronomy and Space Science Institute, have watched this star develop over 18 years through real-time photos, a first for the scientific community. And the researchers say what they observed has recently been confirmed as a groundbreaking discovery in star evolution. Scientists have long agreed that young stars grow by collecting spirals of gas and dust while expelling leftovers in a repetitive process over millions of years. But the order of that process remained unclear until now. The researchers say they witnessed the once formless protostar becoming slimmer and more elliptical as it grew.
These photos are ending the debate over the process of star evolution. We have once again confirmed that a young star's shape is parallel to the direction of the outflow of unused materials.
The photos that document this change were taken in 2007, but the scientific world here on Earth wasn't quite ready to accept them, as they seem to reverse long-held beliefs on star evolution. But after 8 years, the research has finally won official approval from the global scientific community and has been published in the April issue of Science magazine. Won Ji-hyun, Arirang News.
And now for a quick look at the weather. We had perfect weather for soaking in the spring over the weekend, but that won't continue on Monday. Rain is in the forecast nationwide for the first 2 days of the week, and the high in the capital will dip down a few notches to 16 degrees Celsius. And now let's check out the weather conditions in your neck of the woods and around the world. We've come to the end of our newscast. Thank you for watching. Have a great start to your week.